This area here, believe it or not, was traditionally, they were saying, it's where horses used to come in, a little horse pond they call it. And up behind there you can see the wall of the walled garden. So where the community centre is over there behind you, on the far side there was a large estate house which was burnt down and destroyed, but the walled garden was associated with it. And it was the main house of Michael. But way earlier than all of this, we have St. Bridget's Well. Now this is, as far as I know, it's actually the only St. Bridget's Well in County Carlow. Obviously enough, St. Bridget, the 1500 celebration is going on all around Kildare, but St. Bridget was obviously hugely significant in Carlow as well. But this is why we've kind of included it as one of those, and you can see the lovely little statue of St. Bridget. I like this little walkway also, just the walk down to the Holy Well. Again, you know what, it is, that's the little structure, and down into it would have been a natural spring. But again, there's the kind of the vernacular architecture to all of these wells. So obviously that was the well, and then this would have built, and this was obviously the latest statue to venerate St. Bridget. But it's quite unusual. Again, it's like Caloochthron. You have the steps down into the deep little spring of water where probably people would have either drunk the water or would have taken it away with them. That's quite a common theme at all of these wells.
So St. Bridget's Well has a patron day on the 14th of September every year, and that is still held. In previous years, Michael would have had a very big sales day, a sheep sales day, and they would have coincided. It doesn't have any known cures associated with it, but it would still be held by the local community as a very important well, and the local community even have it beautifully decorated. It's in a lovely tranquil park, and there's 3 steps leading down to the well, and it looks beautiful.
Up behind us there you have St. Finian's Church. So it's kind of interesting that St. Finian's Church was a medieval church, and then the association with St. Bridget's Well here as well, so.
The well is situated in the Maréchal de Mesnay, a couple of yards from the boundary wall, which separates the graveyard from the de Mesnay. The spring from which the well is supplied is in the graveyard, and the water passes through a drain under the boundary wall.
We'll go over into the little graveyard as well while we're here, and I'll just show you the other bull on. Yeah.
Do you know what the oldest stone in this graveyard is?
I'd say the oldest stone is probably the bull on stone that we're going to. Well, look, they're bull on stones could be going back into the 6th, 7th century onwards, certainly from 500. Well, no, I'd say kind of 6th, 7th century. So you can see the variation when you see the bull on we had in Caloochthron, and this is really, really quite unusual. Again, a steadfast rock.
Yes.
Obviously enough, it's been cracked, and over the years, people to keep it together, they've filled it in as best in terms of conserving it. But it's obviously a large, as far as I can see, it's a large piece of granite. And again, it's not perfectly circular, but you can get the impression of quite a deep, but you can see the size of it, So, but the amount of effort, and it was done for a reason, but why would you want such a deep basin here? Whether it was just to hold water, and yet here we are today, and it's dry out. So it's not holding water today, yet this one is, and again, the vegetation, but that one, that actually goes down right into a point. As when an archaeologist or a historian will look at an early medieval church, so you automatically think, okay, where was the first component of it? And the first thing you'd be looking around for would be, I need to look for a holy well. So you either see it on the map, or indeed you ask the local people, because obviously enough, there are plenty of holy wells that aren't recorded, and they're always going to be popping up. And the other thing you'd automatically look for would be something like a large bull on or a stone. Now, they're not at every site, but they are kind of the textbook things that you'd expect. If you find a bull on, you're either going to be close to maybe a round tower in some monastic sites, or you'll be close to the church. It's just part and parcel. It's kind of like the signature of the formation of a medieval settlement around the church. Effectively, yeah. That's what I'd see. Yeah.
Wow.
Very much so, you know. There's often a tradition maybe that the saint had knelt somewhere, and you'll either get small little, like people often think the small ball-ons may have been where the knees were, you know, or the hands were. I mean, this is a standard thing. So in other words, wherever the saint had been, they were leaving their impression, and this was where the saint had been. So very often in the folklore, you'll get that association with the ball-on being where, not saying that's a particular one, but where if you get a stone and there's two little impressions, very often they think it's the knee where the saint would have kneeled to pray. And of course, they were so significant that the shape was, their little footprint was left there effectively for us to follow on the practice and know the spot they were, you know. There's actually, I'm not sure where, on one of these walls there's a really interesting little thing that came up during this summer. I think it was this wall. No, I can't see it. Am I looking at, I think it's this one here, but I'm not too sure. Yeah. You can see the circular shape with little, it's like a quernstone, or it is a quernstone effectively. So you see the small little stone in the middle there, and then the circular shape, and it would continue on down into the ground. It's probably a quernstone related to early medieval agriculture, because I mean, obviously enough, when the church was here, there was an agricultural community as it is today, and that would have been. So you'll very often find with church sites, you get architectural fragments, portions of that church could have been reused in the boundaries. Sometimes it's used as headstones, and there you have the quernstone actually being utilised and built into the wall, you know. So excellent, that's it. Yeah,
This is lovely here.
it is cool. And then our lovely medieval church, all nicely repointed and conserved, which is great. There for the next generations to enjoy.
Decadent, wall frame, drowsed in birdsong. Pruned well, but still, the crafted domes of shards housing votives lead into the recollected, refurbished memory of where the water came from. There's no more to be done. I walk the garden, circumnavigate the horse pool, and stand dumb at the sight of the assembled walls of the friary. On the way out, I pause by a Japanese fur, search pockets for change, to throw into the well-made well that may as well welcome wishes.